In this video, we'll be using our compasses a bit more and trying some geometry. This is the mandala I ended up with before using colour. You'll need a good pair of compasses, a pencil, an eraser, a ruler and a fine black pen. I'm using a piece of watercolour paper that's about 8 inches square or 21 centimetres, and I've already found the centre. So to start with, I draw a circle that fits nicely within the square and with a good margin around the edge in case you want to add some outer rings later on, which I actually do. Then I get my compasses and choose a point on the edge of the circle. I usually start with the point that would indicate east on a compass on the right hand side. Then, making sure that your radius is still the same, draw an arc which crosses the middle exactly and meets the circumference at 2 points. Then put your compasses on one of the intersecting points you've just made and draw another arc, making sure your arc crosses exactly through the centre point. Keep going until you have a flower pattern. This is where an accurate pair of compasses and a fine pencil point come in handy, and you need to be exact, otherwise you'll find your points don't quite match up. I would go lightly with this in case you need to use your eraser. You'll see in the video later on that I get a bit bogged down by the detail, and to be honest I was a bit confused as to what to do next quite often in this one. I'm not sure why it confused me so much. I think I was overthinking it when I was choosing which lines to do in pen. Anyway, I really suggest you follow me where I create the flower petals with the compasses, but then try to come up with your own design rather than try to follow mine. As part of the design, I decide to draw a straight line between each of the petals' outer points. You don't have to do this, but it does make it a bit easier to do the next part. Here I'm estimating the midpoint between two petals using the line I've just drawn. Then I mark a point on the outer circle that's also midway. I'm checking it with a ruler just to make sure it's fairly accurate. So I'm going to use the point on the outer circle, and I'm going to draw another set of petals using the same method as before. I check the compasses are still set to the same radius and start drawing the arcs using the new starting point. Your arcs should all end up between the first set of petals, and hopefully you'll finish with 12 petals all evenly spaced, like a clock face. I decide to draw lines between the new petals to make the design even, but you might decide you don't want any straight lines at all. I ended up with quite a lot of straight lines. At this point I go in with my black pen, which is my current favourite Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.1. This is where you can start to pick out the lines you want to keep. This is also where I started to really overthink things, and at one point, well actually a few points, I really thought I'd ruined the whole thing and nearly scrapped it. I'm glad I didn't though. I was trying to go for a design that had some movement in it, something that wasn't totally symmetrical. So here I'm adding to the design using a ruler, and I went straight in with black pen this time. If you do this, you might want to do it in pencil first. And this is where I decide I want to add an outer frame, so I get out my compasses again and go over the pencil with my black pen. I really struggled here trying to decide what to do next, so I decided to draw more straight lines between two fairly random points. It got a bit confusing, so I was glad I did these in pencil first. These lines I decided to wing it and do them by hand with pen. It worked out okay, but you have to keep making sure you're keeping the distance between the lines the same all the way round. And then finally I get my compasses out again and do 2 more circles, smaller ones this time. And that's the finished design, and I really like how it turned out. I quite surprised myself. It just goes to show that sometimes you have to keep pushing through when the going gets tough. I'm going to add some colour off camera and share on the Facebook group, so I will see you there. I'm looking forward to seeing all your geometric designs. Bye for now.